Hey everyone, PB here, and welcome back to my next video. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my previous episode so you're up to date on which RPGs I've already platinumed. And if you've gotten these platinum trophies too, let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to smash that like button and to subscribe. Without further ado, here's the next set of platinum trophies that I have achieved.
Come true, let darkness fade to light.
Mechanical godlike beings, known as Fal'Cies, each control and provide resources to the surface world of Grand Pulse and to the floating world of Cocoon. The Fal'Cies also have the ability to turn people into Lacies, servants tasked with the focus who are granted magical powers and are marked with a symbol. If a Lacie should complete their focus, they will be turned into a crystal and have eternal life. However, if they should fail, they will be turned into a Seath, which is a mindless monster. Now, the people in Cocoon fear the world of Pulse so much that their government, known as Sanctum, will purge their own citizens who have come in contact with anyone or anything from Pulse. Our story starts with 5 unexpected heroes. Lightning, who is an ex-soldier who stowaways on a purge shuttle to save her sister Sarah, who unwillingly became a Pulse Lacie. Snow, the leader of a resistance group trying to save those from being purged in order to save his fiancée Sarah. Saz, who is on the purge train with Lightning and now is trying to reconnect with his son. Hope, who is also being purged but was rescued by Snow and is now set on avenging his mother's death. And Vanille, who was being purged with Hope and is assisting him on following the man responsible for his mother's death. Everyone serendipitously comes together in front of the Fal'Cie anima, unwillingly becoming Lacies, and are all tasked with the same vision of Ragnarok. As the story progresses, you'll get to dive deeper into everyone's personal issues and see how they are able to break free from their despair. The battle system in this game is the active time battle system, which you can only control the main character while your other 2 party members are controlled by AI. You begin with only being able to do 2 actions per turn, which will eventually increase to 6 as you progress through the game, but honestly, the majority of the time, you'll just be using the auto commands because having to individually select your commands for each turn while the ATB is still going on for the enemies is just a hassle. Your AI party members can die as many times as they like, and you can resurrect them and continue fighting. However, it doesn't matter if your AI characters have Rays or Phoenix Downs. If your main character falls in battle, it's game over. The game has a 27.4% completion rate with only a 2.2% platinum success rate, meaning that 8% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Treasure Hunter, which you have to have owned every weapon and accessory in the game, totaling to 231 items. This means that you'll be spending tens of hours grinding for materials and money in order to upgrade each weapon and equipment to higher tier levels in order to achieve this trophy. When I first played Final Fantasy XIII, I was completely confused with all the Fal'Cies and Lacies and Cs information that it was hard for me to immerse myself into the game. Also, Lightning is supposedly the main protagonist, however, it's Vanille who is actually narrating the story. Not only that, but the game constantly has party members coming and going as well as changing whose perspective you're following, which is a pet peeve of mine when playing video games. All in all, it's not a terrible game, but I was surprised that they made this game into a trilogy. Immediately after the events in Final Fantasy XIII, Lightning mysteriously disappears and only her sister Sarah can remember her being present on the surface of Grand Pulse after Cocoon fell from the sky. Everyone goes their separate ways, even Snow, leaving Sarah behind at a beach resort. The resort is suddenly attacked and Sarah is saved by Noel and Mog, who were sent by Lightning from Valhalla to protect her. The 3 of them find a dimensional rift not far off from the coast from the resort and they decide to use it to traverse through space and time in order to find lightning. As your quest continues, you are warned by a mysterious man that if you change the future, you will change the past. The battle system is the same ATB system from Final Fantasy XIII, but this time you can recruit monsters to join your party and fight alongside you as the third battle member. They also add another mechanic to the game which allows you to rewind time so that you can replay any level you want again from the beginning, which will also allow you to open up new dimensional portals, branching the timeline and creating parallel dimensions. The game has a 38.3% completion rate with only a 7.4% platinum success rate, meaning that 19.3% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Anomalous, which you have to witness all 9 alternate endings in the game. To see these endings, you'll need to have beaten the game first in order to get a special ability which allows you to create paradoxes from certain boss battles in the game. This game was fun to play, trying to capture the different monsters and creating a powerful team, as well as allowing you to choose which timeline to explore, making it a whole lot less linear than its predecessor. I personally thought this was a better game of the trilogy, but that's still not saying much considering what it was competing against. "500 years after the events in Final Fantasy XIII-2, Lightning is released from her hibernation 13 days before the end of the world. She is chosen to become a savior by the deity Bunavelza and is tasked to save the people of this world as well as her previous comrades from the emotional burdens which they bear and guide them to the new world which Bunavelza will create. Lightning agrees on one condition, that her sister Sarah's spirit is reborn as well onto this new world. As the story progresses, you find out that Bunavelza's true plans are far from what Lightning had expected. The battle system is a style change active time battle system, which means that instead of having 3 separate team members in your battle party, Lightning is a one-man army that can change into 3 different character layouts during battle. Each of these layouts have their own weapons, armors, accessories, attack styles, and so on and so forth, as well as their own ATB gauge, so that Lightning is basically 3 characters in one. The layouts I commonly used was a damage dealer, a tank, and a healer, but others have definitely gotten pretty crafty in creating an epic Lightning build. The other mechanic used in this game is the active game time, similar to that of Zelda's Majora's Mask, which there are several places and events that only happen at specific times, so you'll need to plan ahead and manage your time so that you don't get a game over and start back at day 1. However, you do keep all your stats, so some people actually abuse this method in order to farm extra stats to make the later parts of the game easier. With that said, the game has a 28.5% completion rate with only a 6.3% platinum success rate, meaning that 12.9% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Expert Shieldsmith, which you have to modify your shields 30 times. This was an interesting finale to the trilogy, with basically an open world allowing you to choose which main quest lines you want to complete, as long as you manage to complete all 5 main quests before time runs out. I thought the game was decent and unique, but nothing like a true Final Fantasy game. In the small town of Motorville, a young boy named Oliver is excited to try out his friend's new motor vehicle and ends up crashing into the river. His mother rescues him from drowning, but unfortunately dies from heart problems immediately after. Back at home, Oliver weeps over his mother's death and his tears fall upon a stuffed animal named Drippy, which was one of his mother's gift to him. Drippy comes alive and tells Oliver that he is a fairy from another world which the evil sorcerer Shadar has taken control over. He begins to explain that the people in Motorville are connected to the people from his world as soulmates, and Oliver's mother looks like the great sage Alicia, who is being held captive by Shadar. Oliver wants to resurrect his mother, so he heads out with Drippy to the other world in order to save the great sage Alicia in hopes that it will bring his mother back. As you progress through the game, you manage to find everyone else's soulmate, but Oliver has yet to have discovered his own. The game mechanics is a variation of the linear motion battle system, which you can roam freely around the battlefield, but you still have to select your commands similar to an ATB system. The other unique feature is that you are able to capture monsters and evolve them like Pokemon and summon them onto the battlefield and control them like regular players. Unfortunately, you do have to progress the story a little bit and recruit Esther as a party member before you can gain the ability to capture monsters. There are also several unique puzzles in the game which enables you to unlock more magical spells that were fun to discover and figure out. The game has a 20.9% completion rate with only a 2.7% platinum success rate, meaning that 12% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Mad Scientist, which you have to alchemize 120 different items. I really enjoyed this game since I had been searching for a Monster Evolution capturing game that wasn't so demonic like Shin Megami Tensei franchise. It does have childish tendencies, but it's good to feel like a kid again sometimes.
I want to feel your hand right now. You are the place, my only home.
300 years ago, the world of Dana was invaded and conquered by powerful beings known as Renins. The world is now separated into 5 different realms, and each realm is ruled by a Renin tasked to drain the astral energy from its enslaved people by any means necessary in order to win a competition to become the next Renin sovereign. A slave in an iron mask who is unable to feel pain nor remember his own name winds up rescuing a woman named Shin from a train heist who bears a curse which prevents anyone from touching her. The man in the iron mask assists Shin in her quest to take down the 5 Renin leaders in order to acquire their elemental cores in hopes to eradicate Shin's curse. As you progress through the story, you get to bear witness to all the ways one can be oppressed. The battle system is your typical linear motion battle system, which focuses a lot on evading enemies' attacks rather than going on an all-out attack. Battles don't reward you with money, so you'll need to sell resources which you earn in battle, or you can do what I did and do a lot of fishing. The game has a 49.4% completion rate with only a 12.5% platinum success rate, meaning that 25.3% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Arms Stockpiler, which you have to forge 100 weapons in order to achieve. This was a fun Tales game to play, but was rather tame when compared to its predecessors. What I mean is that most Tales games have incentives for you to play the game multiple times. However, this one was more of a one and done. In the world of Ivalice, the Arcadian Empire invades the kingdom of Dalmasca, assassinating their king moments after signing a peace treaty, and frames the Dalmascan Captain Bosk for this heinous crime. 2 years later, a young street rat named Vaughn sneaks into the Rabanastre Palace during a celebration dinner for the Arcadian prince to steal a powerful magic crystal known as Magicite. Immediately after stealing the Magicite, 2 sky pirates named Balthier and Fran show up to procure the Magicite for themselves. However, the Dalmascan resistance force led by Ash, the former princess of the Rabanastre city, start attacking the palace, so Vaughn and the sky pirates try to escape but are captured after crashing into the sewers. As the story progresses, you get to bear witness to how corrupt government officials can be. The battle system is the active dimension battle system, which uses gambits to basically set macros for your characters so that they auto-fight during battles. You can still manually select to attack and use items and such, but for the later part of the game, you'll mainly just walk up to an enemy, set the controller down, and wait for the battle to be over before playing again. There is also a license board, which you have to own the license to equip your weapons and armor, use magic, perform your special quickening attacks, and summon espers. In the Zodiac age, you are now able to assign job roles to your characters so that they can specialize in specific fields instead of having every character being able to do everything everyone else can. The game has a 20.1% completion rate with only a 2.6% platinum success rate, meaning that 12.9% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Scrivener, which you have to kill every enemy in the game, meaning all of the espers, hunter's marks, bosses, rare enemies, and regular enemies, which comes out to roughly 385 enemies in the game. I'm not sure if the person who made this game got their inspiration from Star Wars Episode 2, because there is so much political talk in this game that I zoned out for a very large portion of the story. Play if you want, but in my opinion, this is when the Final Fantasy games started going downhill for me. In this remake of the original game, the story is practically identical except for two new characters that really don't become important until the additional semester added to the end of the game. One of these characters is Kasumi Yoshizawa, a girl who transferred from Shujin Academy the same time Joker did, who also has a dark secret that nobody knows about. And the other character is Takuto Maruki, a school counselor who was hired after Kamoshida was exposed and holds therapy sessions with the students to learn about their deepest wishes. Since I already went over what happens in the main game, I'll just be going over what is new in this version. After destroying the metaverse, everything seems to be back to normal. However, at the beginning of the new year, Joker starts to notice strange things happening around him. Each of the Phantom Thieves' deepest wishes are becoming reality, and even Akechi is miraculously alive. A new palace is discovered and Kasumi joins the Phantom Thieves. You find out that the palace belongs to none other than Maruki, the school counselor, and he somehow was able to use the final boss's powers to take over mementos and create a new world where everyone's wishes comes true. As you progress through the expansion of the game, you have to contemplate the consequences of eradicating this new evil. The battle system is practically the same as before, with the turn-based system with getting additional attacks with crits and weaknesses, as well as doing an all-out attack and baton pass, which I forgot to mention before, that basically allows you to give your turn to someone else on your team. However, a new battle mechanic added is the powerful duo attack called Showtime, which can happen if an enemy or party member's health gets too low. The palaces also have been upgraded by allowing Joker to hookshot to new areas of the map, which usually has new items called will seeds within them, that if you collect all 3 will seeds, you get a powerful accessory. You can take these accessories to Jose at the new traveling shop in Mementos and upgrade them. This shop also allows you to upgrade Mementos, making it so that the enemies give more experience, item, and money. Not only that, but Jose is also a secret super boss you can attempt later in the game. The Velvet Room also got a boost with the fusion alarm that will go off after a certain amount of fights, meaning that if you fuse during this time, you can get a persona with high level skills and basically create an invincible persona as early as the 3rd palace. There are also more hangout places to boost your stats and quests to add even more time to this already roided out expansion. The game has a 41.7% completion rate with only a 17.7% platinum success rate, meaning that 42.4% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Master of Akihabara, which you have to order from the secret menu at the Maid Cafe. I've got to say that this is one of my favorite JRPGs because you'll definitely get your money's worth out of it, and the genre is so unique. I don't know how they made a dungeon crawling, monster capturing, high school dating simulator game work, but it just does. In modern-day Tokyo, you and your two friends are going to visit your teacher who is currently admitted at the hospital. While trying to reach your teacher, Lucifer in his childlike form addresses you about the coming of the new world. You manage to find your teacher, but she is with a cult leader who triggers the conception for the new world. As the world transforms into the Vortex world, a reason must be provided to the Great Will before the new world can be birthed. Lucifer evokes you with the Magatama, turning you into a demi-fiend with the ability to recruit monsters in order to lead Lucifer's army against the Great Will. As the story progresses, you must decide on whose reason you are willing to use for the birth of the new world. The battle system is a turn-based system with the mechanics that allows you to take extra turns if you strike an enemy's weakness. Since this is your typical Shin Megami Tensei game, you'll be capturing and fusing monsters to help aid you in battle. Since the world depends on you, it doesn't matter if you still have other party members alive. If your character falls in battle, it's game over. They added the merciful difficulty level as a free DLC to this game because even on the easiest setting, it is still incredibly hard and was extremely frustrating to play because you can lose hours of progress by accidentally stumbling across a new area in a dungeon and the enemy just one-shots you. The game has 11% completion rate with only a 1.5% platinum success rate, meaning that 13.6% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Lord of Creation, which you have to view all 6 different endings of the game. I really enjoy playing difficult games, and the story was so bizarre that it kept me interested. If you have the same interests as I do, then I would definitely recommend playing this game. In the small village of Arni, located in the archipelago of El Nido, Serge sets off to collect shells for his childhood friend Lena. After collecting the shells, the two have a moment on the beach when suddenly Serge falls into an alternate dimension where he is supposed to be dead due to an incident that happened 10 years ago. You meet up with a thief named Kid who is after the frozen flame being held at Viper Manor. During the heist, you learn that 10 years ago, the universe split into 2 dimensions, one which Serge drowned and the other which he lives. As you progress through the story, you must travel between both dimensions in order to prevent the destruction of space-time. The battle system is a turn-based system which you have a set amount of stamina to use a weak, normal, or strong attack, as well as being able to use magic that you equip onto your character. You don't gain experience in this game, so your character's stats are based upon your star level. You are able to increase your star level by defeating bosses, and every time you get a new star level, your characters are able to get a set amount of boosts and stats from random encounters. However, if you don't get these stat boosts before acquiring your next star level, you'll miss out on getting those extra points for your character. The game also has several branching points depending on your responses and actions, so there is quite a bit of replay for this game. With that said, only 21.5% of those who played the game beat it with only a 4% platinum success rate, meaning that 18.6% of those who beat the game managed to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is the Recruiter, where you have to recruit all 43 optional characters, which takes several New Game Plus playthroughs because a majority of the characters can only be recruited if you make certain choices, which the catch is that these choices will also lock you out from recruiting some of the other characters. This is a great classic RPG that I enjoyed playing back in my childhood, and I was excited to be able to replay this game on the current console. If you enjoy classic RPGs, then definitely give this one a shot. In this post-apocalyptic world created by the Great Collapse, monsters began to emerge around the world, devastating the human population. In order to fight back, human corpses were brought back to life by implanting a biological organ regenerative parasite into their heart. This created a new race of people known as Revenants, who bore vampiric tendencies with unique abilities in order to help save the world. Unfortunately, this also caused a new issue because if revenants aren't able to feast on human blood or on blood beads produced by a plant known as blood springs, they enter into a frenzy and become a lost. As the lost population increased, a deadly miasma started to emit, causing revenants to turn into lost at a more rapid rate if they're not wearing a respiratory apparatus. Not only that, but the supply of blood beads has begun to dry up, making the situation even more dire for the survival of the human race. As you progress through the game, you must quickly find a solution to rid the miasma from the world. The battle system in Code Vein is an action role-playing game very similar to the Souls series, which people have nicknamed the game as Anime Souls. What makes this game a little easier than the Souls series is that you are able to have an AI companion assist you on your journey. You have the ability to craft better weapons and explore bonus dungeons to help gain the stat boosts you need in order to help take down the more challenging bosses. The game has a 20.6% completion rate with only a 1.5% platinum success rate, meaning that 7.3% of those who beat the game manage to get the platinum trophy. The rarest trophy to get is Exalted Reputation, which you have to reach level 30 reputation. I have to be honest and say that I have very little experience in playing Souls games, but from what I have seen from other people doing Let's Plays of the Souls series online, it appears Code Vein is a good introduction for gamers who are wanting to get into the Souls series but aren't familiar or comfortable with the game style. It's fun and enjoyable, but not too difficult for those who want a more casual Souls experience to play. Well, that's it for now, everyone, but don't worry, I have a whole lot more coming soon, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you'll know when I'm done editing my next set of RPG Platinum trophies. Also, smash that like button so it helps my videos with the YouTube algorithms. If you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. You can also check out some of my other videos since I do a variety type of gaming content. Until then, see you next time, my friends.